will use the money we're no longer spending on war to pay down our debt and put more people back to work, rebuilding roads and bridges and schools and runways.
One of the ways he's hoping to trim the deficit is by counting money that we won't be spending on fighting the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. I mean, there still is a war in Afghanistan, but basically he's cutting spending from what we weren't going to spend anyway.
Because after 2 wars that have cost us thousands of lives and over $1 trillion, it's time to do some nation building right here at home.
And the money that we were spending on those wars was largely borrowed. So to actually achieve this money to cut the deficit, he would have to borrow more money, which of course would increase the deficit further. So it's sort of a shell game.
The worst job loss since the Great Depression. We've since created 4.5 million private sector jobs in the past 29 months.
Almost every speaker at the Democratic convention has used this 4.5 million jobs created in the last 29 months. They don't say from the beginning of Obama's presidency, they say in the last 29 months. And that's because 29 months ago, the recession kind of bottomed. It was unemployment was the worst as it's been since the recession began, and jobs have been increasing every month since then. But if you go back to the beginning of Obama's presidency, actually there's still a net loss of maybe 100,000 jobs. There were over 1 million at one point, and little by little, because every month there's another 150, 200, something like that.
We can help big factories and small businesses double their exports. And if we choose this path, we can create 1 million new manufacturing jobs in the next 4 years.
Well, that seems like it'll be very hard to achieve. Manufacturing has been in a decline for the last 2 decades. And even though there's been an increase, there was an increase in manufacturing jobs earlier this year. That's trimmed off a little bit as Europe has its own financial problems. It's not buying as many U.S. goods, and the slowdown in China is also affecting manufacturing jobs. So it seems like it'd be a very difficult goal to achieve.